157 yards, a touchdown and a pick. James, only 12 carries, but about 4 yards a shot. And Harrison, after a slow start, is up to 5 catches for 33 yards. Manning, pressure from behind. And overthrows Harrison. He was double covered at the near sideline.
Joe, just one play before they got the first down.
Yes.
It's third down in the yard. And that play that they ran, they knew that they had Edgerrin James on the linebacker. All he had was almost like a handoff.
Yep.
And it only picked up 3 yards, but it was a perfect call and a perfect play.
That's what Tom Moore counts on, the offensive coordinator. That's why they run this style of offense. It's all in Peyton Manning's hands.
When you only need one, 3's pretty good. James against the run blitz. And Elijah Alexander is right there.
Let me just say this. Last year when the Colts jumped out to a 21-0 lead and the Raiders came back and won the football game, Greg Binkert said by halftime they had been able to figure out the run audibles that Peyton Manning was using. Now, Manning says that's a bunch of baloney because if you win a game, you can say what you want. But talking to Binkert and the Raider coaches, they felt like they figured out pretty well where he wanted to run the football, and they shut him down in the second half a year ago.
Greg Binkert's a pretty bright guy. He says listening to the verbiage for a half, you pretty much have to figure it out in the third quarter.
See number 54 in the middle, just sort of moving around?
Manning just got away from Grady Jackson, throws on the run. Incomplete, knocked away by Woodson, intended for the rookie Reggie Wayne.
I love plays like this. I really do. The quarterback gets out, and now everybody is scrambling to get someplace. You got defensive guys, you got offensive guys that are going to run into each other, and here comes the pressure. Now watch Manning get himself to the outside. That was Grady Jackson, number 90, chasing. Now watch when he throws this ball in the middle, Joe. There were like 6 bodies flying,
and Charles Woodson was one of them.
Hunter Smith, the kick to David Dunn. He waits back at the 35. The Raiders should have pretty good field position out of there. Returnable kick from the 37. Dunn stutter steps and crosses the 45. 9-yard return after a punt of 42. The Raiders on top by 4. We're in the third quarter. Third quarter from Indianapolis. Raiders by 4. They have the ball at their own 46-yard line. First and 10. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Susie Culber, our entire ESPN crew with you. Glad you could join us on Sunday night from Indianapolis. Gannon, excellent protection, throws to Jerry Rice. Out of bounds at the Indianapolis 34-yard line.
You got Jerry Rice singled up on Chad Cota on the safety. I mean, that's the matchup you're looking for.
Well, not only that, the little bit of play action pass by Gannon does a nice job of making the linebackers jump up, and it allows Jerry Rice to go roaming across the middle of that defense. See him come on a crossing pattern, Chad Cota's got to run with him. If he gets a step out in front, he's not going to drop any.
Gannon fired that one in and out, incomplete. We talked to John Gruden about his newest wide receiver. Why did he go after Jerry Rice?
I've always marveled at him. He motivated me in 1990 to work harder. But when he was a free agent, we felt that he could come in here and play and help our football team. He's very inspiring. He still has a lot of life in his legs. And if you put the film on, the number 80 still making plays.
And he and Tim Brown came into this week tied for 12th in receptions in the NFL. Garner cuts it outside. Solid tackle by Macklin. John Gruden referred to Jerry Rice at age 39 as Red Grange. In this game, when you're 39, you are Red Grange.
Well, the thing about it is yesterday when they came into Indianapolis, they came to this dome and they're working out. And as the defense was doing some things, they looked down in the end zone and there's Brown and Rice running sprints. So Gruden went over to his young receivers like Porter and those guys and then said, hey, you see what those old guys are doing? Learn something.
And those are two of the hardest workers you'll ever find. That's why they've lasted this long.
Gannon's going to have to burn a timeout because they couldn't get the substitution package right. And so now he's had to waste one.
And there's that stare with a wasted timeout in the third quarter. Back to Indianapolis after this.
You know the rules. It's the law of the jungle. This
Third down and 9.
Well, you know, you're in a position, we were off camera, Joe just said, you look at, boy, this is a tough position to be in. You're in the 33-yard line. If you don't get anything, do you kick a 50-yard field goal? Because that's about what it's going to be.
The crowd on its feet. Gannon for the end zone. Caught at the 1, out of bounds at the 1-inch line, Timmy Brown.
Well, you talk about confidence. Third and long, and what do you call? It's really not a featured part of their offense. You've got Tim Brown matched up against Thomas Smith. He makes a little quick move inside. Smith tries to cut him off and then just loses the ball, but Tim Brown doesn't. Watch the concentration by Tim Brown. Look at that. What a perfect throw again.
Beautiful throw by Richie Gannon.
That's what Gruden expects.
First and goal. Movement up front.
The whole left side caved in.
Well, that one should be against the Colts because all the offensive line did on that play was to react to what the defense did.
Neutral zone infraction, defensive right tackle.
And you know, that's a smart
Half the
play.
distance to the goal line, first down.
If they happen to call it on the offense, they back them up 5 yards. They call it on you, you're penalized an inch.
Right side of your screen. The right defensive tackle just moved a little bit. Ellis Johnson just on the inside moved and flinched a little. It drew the offensive lineman off. Now, you used to be able to do stuff like that, but you can't now.
First and goal again, an inch closer. Wheatley is the deep man. Wheatley, touchdown. They send the big man at 235 over the top.
And they send it over the top of the biggest man, Lincoln Kennedy, number 72. John Ritchie leading the way in, and John Gruden likes that. That's what I'm talking about.
Janikowski will try to make it an 11-point game, and does. The Raiders on 3rd and 9 with a big 32-yard play, and now the pressure falls squarely on the shoulders of Peyton Manning.
Hey.
He's the best in football.
Yeah.
The best in football.
If there was ever any doubts, and if you saw Brett Favre today, you realize he is the best.
Peyton Manning is hitting 64% of his throws and needs to get some more yardage out of it right now. Manning back, throws a strike, and Pollard drops it. Looked like he was losing his balance and going to the ground just as it got there.
The ball was badly underthrown by Manning on this one. They come with the blitz. He's got him on the corner route, and he just throws it short. The ball doesn't really come out in a spiral. Matter of fact, he's thrown some ugly ones tonight, and Pollard can't quite come back and make the play. And I think this also presents a situation for the Colts. If you've got to throw the ball, how big a factor can Edgerrin James be for them on offense?
James on the toss. Got a good block, makes the spin move, gets to the 25. Let's check in with Chris Berman.
Mike, today everybody get a reminder that Brett Favre is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play in the NFL. Against the great Baltimore defense, Favre was just greater. 31-23 pack at home over Baltimore. Favre 27 of 34 for 337, 3 TDs, including that one to Antonio Freeman.
He smiled more on the field than most people do on the sideline. He just has a wonderful love of the game and a presence about him. There's a blitz out to James, and great defense by Torrey James on Eckert.
That time Charles Woodson came again on a blitz, which forced Manning to go to the hot receiver, and Torrey James made the play.
Charles Woodson, Joe, I mean, you just love what he does. Watch him on the blitz. Here he comes, he's sneaking in. I watch him jump up in the air. He knows he can't get through. I'm going to create some problems. I got up in the air. He's going to get knocked down. But it forced Peyton Manning to throw when he didn't want to throw.
Hunter Smith will have to punt again as the Colts offense is stymied here with 9:05 to go in the quarter. And a beautiful kick. David Dunn driven all the way back to the 13. Ouch.
Huge mistake, David.
And you run east and west long enough, one of those guys is going to plant you.
Ryan Phillips, who's a backup linebacker that used to play with the Giants, just leveled him.
Mike and Ben have Ultimate TV from Microsoft, so on Sundays their place is Party.
Brown, Timmy with 6 for 131 yards. Rice has really been held in check. 2 catches for only 27.
But what you don't see under Brown is 2 critical catches deep. Both of them to set up touchdowns.
He's been doing it for a long, long time. They both have. Charlie Garner comes back in at running back. And Garner will get the carry. Nowhere to go this time, up to the 20. For more on Richie Gannon, let's go down to Susie.
Well, it's been a long journey to Pro Bowl MVP for Rich Gannon, and includes 5 different teams. He was a middle-round draft choice out of the University of Delaware, drafted by New England. Raymond Berry wanted him to play DB. He said no way, and 6 days later he was traded to the Vikes. So it was a long road, but he finally found his coaching soulmate with John Gruden. Both of them have that same work ethic, and it has worked.
And Susie, it's not like he didn't warn them in advance. He said he was going to be a quarterback somewhere. And he was right. Took a long time. Gannon scrambling. Slides in safely at the 29. Now, because he slid, they will mark the ball at the spot where he started to slide, and he may be short of the first down.
Boy, was that Corey Bird that came in, number 41, and almost took his head off.
Now, we had Jeff Garcia last Sunday night. Jeff Garcia refuses to slide. Very seldom will you ever see Rich Gannon go head first. This is a case where if he goes in head first, and if it's on grass, he might, he'll slide down. He looks over to see where the first down marker is and thinks he might have picked it up.
This is such a subjective call by the official marking the ball as well.
What do you think, Paul? Come on.
I think he made it.
I think he's a little short.
I think he made it.
Tough to fit a sheet of paper between the ball and the yardstick.
That was exactly 10 yards.
I said I think he made it. Wait a minute. Did you ask me?
Yes, I did.
Did he make it?
Yep.
Did I hear anything?
Yep. Way to go, Paul.
Very good. Very good, Mr. McGuire. I didn't think he made it. I thought it was short when I saw the mark. Wheatley whacked as he got to the 30. Monday night at 9, Stephen Davis and the Redskins will go to Dallas. They'll face Emmitt Smith and the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Then on ESPN Thursday night, Rob Johnson and the Bills go to Jacksonville to take on Mark Brunell and the Jaguars. Our coverage starts at 8:28.
You know, one thing about this Raider offense, though, the way they run it, and as efficiently as Rich Gannon does, they can take some time off the clock.
Gannon deep drop this time. Wheatley in the flat couldn't hold the ball. Burris was there anyway. Speaking of Washington and Dallas on Monday night, let's take you back to 1983, September 5th. In fact, Dallas outscores the Redskins 28-7 in the second half on their way to a 31-30 win in Week 1.
Oh, wait a second.
Great throw,
That was
Joe.
tipped, wasn't
Wait
it?
a minute. Look at that. What a great defensive play.
We're just cruel, that's all.
Well, that's all he said. Oh, geez.
The only reason we showed that is because you threw a pick on that.
I'm going to watch the telestrator copy here.
Gannon back to throw against the blitz. Throws to Ritchie. He can't hold it because Peterson was right there with him.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that Colt defense, they put some pressure on him. Number 96, Josh Williams, stayed on the outside and forced Gannon to throw the ball short. That wouldn't have been even close to a first down. It wouldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Josh Williams has done a terrific job putting pressure on Gannon in 2 instances. One before the end of the half that gave his offense some good field position with a sack. And now this one forced him to get rid of the football.
Leckler will kick to Wilkins. Had that 18-yard return. Leckler averaging better than 51 yards a punt tonight.
Get it up in the air. Man, don't let this guy return it. There you go.
Pretty kick.
That's beautiful.
Wilkins from the 15. And taken out about shy of the 20. Or shy of the 25. Randy Jordan down on special teams for the Raiders. And the Colts offense has to get on track, and soon.
Pep Boys just rolled back tire prices. 70,000-mile touring tires rolled back to...
We were talking about, when you look at all the 22 players, what Peyton Manning does on offense. As they come back to the huddle, he's looking at the secondary and the safeties for passes. He's looking at the front guys, the guys on the front line, all the guys up there for runs. Now, defensively, what you're going to see is as the corners deploy, you'll see the corner up, and then he may drop back, or he'll be up here and come up. You'll get a different look from the safety, go in different directions, just to try and give Peyton Manning something different to look at.
James on the toss, having to do it on his own. There's a flag down as well.
Boy, it looked like face mask that they grabbed Edgerrin James by the face. Somebody got...
Boy, there's another big break for the Colts.
Oh, man. This is huge.
Face mask foul, number 58 defense. Enforced from the end of the play.
Elijah Alexander, number 58. He reaches out, and the reason this is 5 yards is because he kind of grabs and then lets go. Bang, he grabs. Well, I'm going to tell you what.
That was close to 15.
Boy, you bet. When you snap
the head snaps,
it's 15.
Yeah, that's real close to 15.
Of course, in regular motion, that's awfully tough for the official to see it. Edgerrin James could have told him about it, though. Manning to Harrison on a little cross. Turns it upfield, will have a first down at the Colt 34.
Guys, this is really not the Colts offense. This is not what they like to do. They like to go down the field. The short crossing routes are not what Peyton likes to throw, or really you want to get Marvin Harrison on. They've got to try and force the ball down the field. And being that Jerome Payton is out of the game and Reggie Wayne hasn't caught a ball, Marvin Harrison's going to have to be the guy.
Manning with plenty of time, throws the strike. And there is Wayne with his first catch as a pro.
Who did you just said he hadn't caught a ball?
He didn't up till then.
Until then. Boy, I tell you, what a difference you have when you have time to throw the ball. And this time Reggie Wayne is wide open, and Peyton Manning has plenty of time to throw the ball. Look at Marvin Harrison running down the field knowing that he was open.
Reggie Wayne was hurt before the first preseason game. Just getting over a high ankle sprain. Played a little bit early in the season, not much, and now makes his first catch, and Edgerrin James rips off about 8. For more on Reggie Wayne, let's go to Susan.
Well, and it was about time that Peyton found Reggie. When I asked Reggie before the game started how much time he had spent with Peyton over the last 2 weeks, he said way too much. But everyone on the team felt that he had the timing down, he has the system down, and he is a rookie, but he's coming out of the University of Miami where they're used to a high-speed passing game like this.
And he set a school record there in receiving yards with some pretty good company in that record book. James, nice hole off the left side. Runs into his own man down to the Raider 32.
We just talked about 15 minutes ago, Joseph, about how much can Edgerrin James help this team. They're down 20-9. When do you take him out of the offense and just go with passing it? you got to keep him in as well as he's running.
Right, and what I mean by keeping him in, keeping him active, calling the plays, continuing to feed him the ball. Tom Moore compares him a little bit to Barry Sanders, who he had in Detroit. He said he just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. He can break one. He may carry the ball 15 times for 50 yards. Then all of a sudden, the big one comes.
And he just wants it more and more and more. Manning with time, throws sideline, complete. Harrison caught it in front of Woodson at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. First of all, let's all start with the offensive line. When you have this much time to allow your wide receiver, and that's Marvin Harrison, to run this route, watch the route he runs. Here's the fake. Now it looks like he's going into the corner. He stops. He's got Woodson turned, and now he comes back to the ball. This takes a long time to run.
And it's particularly good against Charles Woodson if you run play action because he likes to look in the backfield, and that's what Manning is running a lot of.
Spot the ball at the 21, 1st and 10. James has the corner. Eric Allen makes the tackle.
I want to point something out. How good a veteran is Eric Allen? Edgerrin James loves to use the straight arm. Instead of Eric Allen just throwing himself into Edgerrin James, watch what he does. The first thing he's going to do is knock his arm down so that he can make the tackle. Now that is a veteran defensive back.
Eric Allen's been around for 14 years, been to the Pro Bowl 6 times. 2nd and a yard. James. First down, it will be 1st and goal.
And there is so much time left in this ball game when you have an explosive offense like the Indianapolis Colts have. You just take your time with it. You got 2 minutes here in the third quarter. You've got plenty of time to score in this quarter to bring you right back in the ball game.
Yeah, you got 100 yards, all-purpose yards. This is the type of offense Jim Moore likes to see, and they have a rhythm about it. Peyton Manning not spending a lot of time staring and standing.
James again. Tries to cut it back, fights his way to the 6. In the draft, Ricky Williams was available, and a lot of people thought Bill Polian and the Colts would take Ricky Williams. Instead, he dipped down below most of the experts' predictions and chose Edgerrin James out of Miami. One of the reasons that James was so good at catching the ball. And all this guy has done is win 2 straight NFL rushing titles.
How about Ricky Williams today? Scored a touchdown on the last play of the game to beat Carolina.
That was Trent Paul, too. Manning, under pressure, throws. Tipped and incomplete.
Wait a minute.
No, touchdown. Harrison caught it off the hands of Gilder. Holy cow.
This is unbelievable. The fact that Harrison stays in the end zone.
Yeah, he looked. When he shot the ball, he looked at where his feet were.
Gilder was plastered just as the ball got there. It came loose, and Harrison somehow got his feet in.
Now we have to see if Harrison kept his feet in bounds.
On for 2.
Trying to make it a 3-point game, and here came Beekert across the line of scrimmage. I think they want to challenge this. And Beekert was going to make sure they didn't get the play off before the challenge could come.
The question is Harrison in bounds? There's Dilger. He's up in the air. Marvin Harrison is just standing there. Oh!
He's in bounds.
Look at how he stays, his presence of mind to stay in bounds. That right foot could have very easily stepped out. Look at that right foot. But he manages to turn it, keep it in bounds, and keep possession.
Grace and control.
Did you see him look down at his feet? What they're questioning here is that you're actually right, Joe. Did that right foot step on the line? Now, Beekert went offside, so they penalize them. Now they're inside the right at the 1-yard line.
Wow, what a job by Marvin Harrison.
And there's no challenge. Well, we saw the replay. I wouldn't challenge it. Now they'll go for 2, trying to make it a 3-point game. James. No signal yet. Now they got the 2.
I'll tell you, the officials are talking. They're talking. If you wonder why the umpire, the guy standing right behind the play, doesn't make the call, it's not his call to make. Now watch, they have to wait to see if Edgerrin James gets in, and this play is called from either side.
See the late push, though? Edgerrin's on the ground. It's hard to tell. Is his knee on the ground? Is he in the end zone? I don't think he made it in.
That is the problem with the line judges having the call. They're 25 yards away. By the time they get there, how much has happened?
Watch this. Does his knee hit the ground? His knee's on the ground. I don't believe he's in. There's that extra little push, but you can't tell.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. If you look at this and you look at the drive of his legs, I am not so sure his knee does hit the ground, Joe, because his legs are still really moving and they're not on the ground.
I think his right knee actually does touch.
They have already signaled the conversion was good, and John Gruden is going ballistic on the sideline.
He's on the field.
No way. That's right. Not on the sideline. John Gruden's now at the 25.
Well, you know, you can see the umpire standing there, and you know that the umpire really can't. Jeff Rice, number 44, is the umpire. And if you watch him on that play from the end zone, on that replay, he doesn't do anything because it's not his call.
Which is something that's always just amazed me to no end.
All right. We're going to show you again.
Watch his right knee.
Wait. Now watch his legs drive. His right leg drive.
Now his knee is on the ground right there. His knee is on the ground, and then he gives a late push and moves the ball across.
Now they're saying he didn't score.
I don't believe he did. I think this is the correct call. Unfortunately for the Colts,
it was signaled that he had gotten the 2 points, but then they had the conversation,
but it came late.
No.
Well, here's the thing.
Is challenging the ruling on the field that the ball was short of the goal line.
Now, here is the critical thing about this call. Had they not had the conference and changed it, the call would have been that he made it in. They would have needed indisputable evidence to turn it over. Now the call is he didn't make it, and they still need indisputable evidence to turn that over.
And it's difficult to see exactly where his knee hits, but you see the late push, and that's the question. Right there, his right knee hits the ground. Wherever the ball is at that instant is where the ball is down.
Hold on. Can you freeze that thing before he moves? I'm going to tell you what. The ball is in his gut. Go back right to here.
Paul, you can see the ball?
No. I can see it where it is in his hands now.
Right.
Okay.
It's right up by his side.
All right.
His knee is on the ground. All right. Now watch this. As we roll it, as we continue to roll it, you'll see him lying down. Now watch it.
Look where he's lying now. This is before he moves, Joe. He's on the white line.
Right there. I don't believe that that ball is in the end zone. I think it's located right there, short of the end zone. And then what he does is he gives a late push and winds up going in.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know. It's so close. To cast your vote, you can log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com. Click on ETV. Boy, oh boy. That's as close as it can get.
Let's get something straight, all of us. Did the ruling that it was not...
The ruling is it is not a conversion.
That's the ruling on the field.
And then I agree totally. There's nothing that's going to overturn that rule.
I think that was the big deal with reversing the call, because you're not going to find, I don't believe, overwhelming evidence either way. So the call on the field is going to stand one way or another.
Bob McElwee doing a terrific job. One of the best referees in this game.
That he is.
Getting a lot of votes coming in. You can see by everyone watching at home just how close it is.
Got a lot of votes from Oakland.
See if you can see the ball. There's the ball.
Where's the ball?
Right there, right down there. The ball is right, I believe, hitting the ground. His knee is on the ground. And we'll see. Let me put it this way. Now you go to the replay process, and I agree with you, Michael. I think in the replay process, because the decision is made that it was not good, it is going to be darn near impossible to tell exactly where it is.
If this is overturned, John Gruden is going to have a cat on national television. Here comes Bob McElroy.
There it is again. Now, you can see right...
After reviewing the play, there is no conclusive evidence to overturn the ruling on the field. The play is no good.
See, Mike, you made a great point. It was a question of what was going to be the ruling on the field. And I personally think that the decision was the correct one. Not obviously, there's about 80,000 people who voted for it.
It became pretty clear early on in this that whatever they called on the field was going to be the eventual call. There's no way to overturn it with those replays.
But I can't believe that all these people in this stadium are booing Joe. It's amazing. I mean, if people feel affected because of that call.
I'm sorry.
Well, now we have 70,000 people having a cat.
Oh. Well, that is, I mean, it's huge, folks, because that 2-point puts them within 3. Now they're 5 down.
Still plenty of time, though. 1:09 to go, third quarter. It's been an emotional night for everybody. Dunn waits for the kick of Hunter Smith, who has come up short all night long on these kickoffs. Dunn, a flying start from the 8, has the seam to the 40. Flags are down. Hard to go through a kickoff without a penalty.
And it's going to be on John Ritchie, number 40. You know, when you hold
Holding, number 40, going to return. 10 yards, first down.
Let's go back and show you the touchdown grab. Marvin Harrison, first the awareness to be there when the ball comes out of Dilger's hands. And then the awareness of where he is on the field, the ability to catch the ball with one hand, still stay in bounds, and then sit down. That's remarkable for one of the great receivers in the NFL. Only Raymond Berry, the legendary greatest hands receiver in the history of this league, has more touchdown catches for the franchise. Gannon to Wheatley, fumbled the pitch. The Colts say they have it. No signal from the official. And they do.
Here's an example of a toss that's just a tad high. Just a tad, but let me finish. But the back not looking at it. Not looking at it.
There's the toss. That's a tad high.
And look, that's the thing. I said a tad. It's up in the
a tad is an inch.
It goes right through his hands and hits him right in the mouth. Watch this. It hit him right in the mouth. And that's what you get for not paying attention.
You were certainly right about the second part. He wasn't looking. He was looking for the hole where he was going to run.
Tyrone Wheatley has not appeared to me to be in this football game mentally. We saw him do a poor job on pass blocking. It was a ball in the flat. He dropped and put on the ground. He has just not played very well tonight. He says the ball was up high. Doesn't matter. You still have to catch it.
That was the first turnover for the Raiders tonight. We are now even, in Peyton Manning with a chance to give his club the lead. Is this a fun or what? And now Manning's going to have to use the timeout.
Well, he's running out of clock time.
Sometimes that particular play and instant in a game is so frustrating for a quarterback because when you look up, you've got a play called, and I believe they're trying to go for it right now. You've got the momentum of the crowd going. You've got Gruden really mad and upset. You've got Mora calm as can be. And what happens is you now get a look, and you've got Charles Woodson on Marvin Harrison one-on-one. You get the defense you want, and all of a sudden you're out of time and you can't run the play. No guarantee when you come back you're going to get that same look.
Let me ask you about that matchup. You've got one of the great defensive backs in the game, Charles Woodson, But Harrison is your go-to guy. He is your Pro Bowler, the guy that's caught more than 100 balls 2 years in a row, and you can't back away from him.
You always live with your horse. You just ride the big horse in. And for the Colts, that horse is Marvin Harrison.
Manning, play fake. Plenty of time. Incomplete, knocked away by Eric Allen. Great defense as he stepped in front of Reggie Wayne.
This is a matchup we've seen all night. Marvin Harrison, Charles Woodson deliver them. There's the touchdown pass to Woodson. And here's just a great individual effort. Marvin Harrison on the sideline. He just believes he can beat Charles Woodson.
Edgerrin James, Grady Jackson slowed him up. James just inside the 20.
There's the head-to-head, 15 plays, 7 thrown to, 5 completions, 35 yards, 2 touchdowns, but that is not a reflection of the job that Charles Woodson has done. Well, one was a great catch, the other was a rebound.
Yeah, that second touchdown in there, there's got to be a little asterisk as far as Woodson is concerned.
3rd down and 10 for the Colts. Can they take advantage of the turnover? Manning steps up. Fighting for the first down, sticks very close.
Oh, easy. He's 2 yards short.
Edgerrin James will give him something to think about with second effort. It will be 4th and maybe a yard when we come back to start the 4th quarter from Indianapolis. Easy business to be in. The pressure reflected on the faces of John Gruden and Jim Mora. Big game for both. Both coaches feel they have enough to get to the AFC Championship game this year.
Well, they got Manning, and I don't understand why they're not kicking a field goal. The only thing I can think of is they're going to try to get Oakland to go offside. And if they take a 5-yard penalty, it'll make any difference.
Now Manning is... This is the fake, folks.
Well, so that Vanderjack working on it, they're trying to get Oakland to go offside, and it really isn't a bad play because all it is a 5-yard penalty and it moves Vanderjack back,
right.
And he can hit it anyway. And look at the Raiders. They're taunting Manning like, what do you think, we're crazy?
Peyton Manning had no intention of taking that snap.
No, and remember now, Vanderjack missed an extra point. So, I mean... And he's a great kicker. There's no question about it. But he's only 1 for 2 coming into this.
His career field goal percentage is 88.8%. If he had the 100 field goals made as the requisite to qualify, by far he would be the most accurate kicker of all time in the NFL. Vanderjack from 35 yards to make it a 2-point game. And it's 20-18 with only 3 seconds gone in the 4th quarter. The 2-point conversion is what separates the Raiders and the Colts right now, 20-18. Wheatley did not catch a pitch out from Rich Gannon. And the Colts were able to get a field goal out of it. Dunn waits deep for the kick of Hunter Smith. It's a 9. Dunn at long stride gets it to the 30. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by 1010-220. Dial it and all calls up to 20 minutes, only 99 cents. By Pontiac. What would you do with some Pontiac excitement? By Fidelity Investments. We can help you see yourself succeeding. And by the new Dockers Mobile Pants. Right in the middle of your picture, the Indiana State Capitol building. Built in 1886. All the way back then, it cost $2 million to build. Charlie Garner in at running back. Ritchie in front of him. Damn the throw. Dumps it off to Garner. Nice job by Burris to come up quickly from the secondary and make the tackle.
What the Raiders need to do offensively is find a rhythm again. They come out, run a little play action. The play action faking has done very well for them. It's allowed Brown and Rice to get on the crossing pattern, and it gives Gannon an outlet to go. The Colts defensively have just done a terrific job of shutting down this offense.
They came in ranked 23rd in the NFL, 29th against the run. Garner to the 40.
First down.
Talking to John Gruden about Charlie Garner. In the case of Charlie, he comes from San Francisco where he's had 2,000-yard seasons, caught almost 1,000 yards in balls over the last 2 years, and really has to find himself and what his role is in this offense because he does split time with Tyrone Wheatley.
Tremendous all-around back is Charlie Garner. The 49ers would have loved to have kept him. They simply couldn't afford it. Blitz coming. Gannon for Rice, incomplete. Burris had him blanketed.
Boy, I'll tell you what, when you call the defensive signals, you really know, you've got to know what you're doing. You know what I mean about blitzing, Joe, and picking at the right time. And here is Burris on Rice. And Jerry Rice stumbles a little bit. The thing about this throw was that Gannon had to throw it before he wanted to throw it.
Well, the other thing is if Rice doesn't fall down, he has a much better chance of getting to where Richie threw it.
But Burris is so good. He's always been such an excellent cover guy. Started in Buffalo before he came over here in '98. 2nd and 10. Gannon dumps it to Wheatley and he drops it. Well, you're right, Joe. It's been a tough night for Tyrone Wheatley.
See, on 2nd down and 10, those are the plays that Gruden calls specifically to pick up 8 or 9 yards, 7, 8 yards. Look, Tyrone Wheatley is wide open. Matter of fact, there isn't anybody out in front of him except Burris, and he's going to go a long way. He just continues to take his eyes off the ball. It's the same thing he did on the pitch before, and I'd be surprised if we see much of Tyrone Wheatley the rest of this game.
3rd and 10, they're on their feet at the RCA Dome. Pressure on Gannon. Taken out of bounds.
Boy, they almost
a smart play by Peterson. Peterson had a chance to sling Richie Gannon, and at the last minute took his hands off his jersey. That is an intelligent play.
And good pressure up front. You see those guys coming up the front. Watch Peterson. He's got Gannon. He whips him around at the sideline. You can't see it, but just trust me, he did a smart thing.
The referee reached for his back pocket. He thought that Gannon was going to be flung to the sideline. But a great, intelligent play by Peterson. What a punt by Leckler. Wilkins lets it go, and it bounces into the end zone. 54-yard punt. Peyton Manning has his club within 2. They'll get another chance when we come back. The RCA Dome in Indianapolis. Let's get you up to date with Game Track in a 2-point game. Richie Gannon, 190 yards passing tonight. 6 of those catches from Tim Brown for 131 yards. Peyton Manning, 217 and 2 scores. And Marvin Harrison has both the touchdowns as part of his 8 catches. Colts take over from their own 20. Edger and James for a couple. Keep in mind, the only game that Oakland has lost this year, they led Miami in the 4th quarter, and the Dolphins came from behind to beat them.
Jay Fiedler finding the end zone.
Not today.
Peyton Manning looking over the defense.
James draw. Room to run. Danced around the official. First down to the 37-yard line.
This
go to Susie Colbert.
Mike, late in the game is when Edgerrin James does his best work. He seems to get stronger as the game goes on. That's a credit to his conditioning. And Peyton Manning told us that he believes he puts fear in the defenders' heads as he's coming through the line. As the game goes on, he says sometimes the D-line is actually yelling at some of the guys in the backfield, hey, help us out on some of the tackles. He's putting a hurting on these guys tonight.
23 carries approaching 100 yards for Edgerrin James, Susie. First down from the 37. James on the toss. Cuts it back, covers up the ball. James to the 49.
I'll tell you what, Pollard may not be catching any passes, but he just put a lick on Eric Allen, number 21. To open that thing up. Kent Diller just gave him a handshake. I'll tell you, what a great block by Pollard.
There you see Grady Jackson missing the tackle. The one thing Chuck Bresnahan stressed to me, he said, we must tackle well as a team. And in this second half, the one thing that the Raiders have not done is tackle well.
24 carries, 107 yards for Edgerrin James. Manning, blitz coming. And Harrison pulled up short, and Manning threw it deep.
Boy, I'll tell you what, is this another wrong route?
It's the second time that the quarterback and the receiver have not been on the same page. This one wasn't as disastrous as the first. Marvin Harrison has got Charles Woodson on the press. Now, normally, when a corner presses a wide receiver, if you have an out route called, that automatically goes to a fade. That's what Peyton Manning was thinking, and the fade is a takeoff up the field.
2nd and 10 near midfield. Blitz coming again. James on the toss. Sets up his blocks and gets to the 46. It will be 3rd and 6.
The one thing that Gruden was talking about, and Joe described this hurry-up offense, which is really not a hurry-up, where they just a no-huddle. The thing about it is that Peyton Manning, when he's standing there looking around, you see all these guys just milling around. What Peyton Manning has is 40 seconds to decide what he's going to do. He says that's the best part about this offense and the toughest thing about the defense. He's got enough time. There's still 15 seconds on the clock. Peyton Manning just walks around.
Now the officials have whistled the clock dead.
Stadium clock to 10:29.
Well, we've got 11:01 on the clock, and
Clock stopped running.
The clock stopped running.
Oh, they're trying to
nothing gets by Bob.
Well, they want to get the Colts one more time. But the nice thing about this now is that Peyton Manning pretty much knew what he was going to call, and the clock was down inside 15 seconds. Now he's going to have 25 seconds to go back up to the line of scrimmage, take a look around, and decide what he wants to do.
After a procedural stop, the play clock goes to 25.
Greg Binkert has to decide what he wants to do.
3rd and 6. They need to get about another 10 to give Vanderjagt a chance. Manning deep drop, dumps it off to Pollard. Going to have to get his on his own, and Elijah Alexander with a great saving tackle.
Boy, I tell you, that's just an excellent play by a linebacker on the tight end. Here's Pollard. He's sitting up in the backfield. He's just slipping out. He chip blocks and slips out to the outside. But look at Alexander. Gets himself square with the receiver and no gain on the play.
Hunter Smith will come on to punt. Dunn goes back inside his 10-yard line. Approaching the 9.5-minute mark in a 2-point ball game. Smith, a high floater. They try to down it and can't. Just too strong from Hunter Smith. A 44-yard kick. Clifton Crosby downfield tried to leap and bat it back onto the field of play, but he couldn't do it. Back to Indianapolis in a 2-point ball game after this.
So what would you do if someone passed you the keys to a Pontiac?
18. Gannon in the flat to Garner. And he's pushed out of bounds by Marcus Washington.
Now that's what John Gruden expects when he calls a play designed to the backs. He's looking for 7-8 yards, give himself an opportunity to have some plays. Good job by Rich Gannon, just getting the ball over Bratsky. Nice catch by Charlie Garner.
Looked it right into his hands, then turned upfield. Randy Jordan is in on second and short. Garner hitting the backfield. He will lose all the way back to the 25.
Boy, I'll tell you what, this defense has really been playing well. That was Mike Peterson that just makes a play on the outside.
Also, they said when they drafted Peterson, he's got the R&H factor. He can run and hit.
But Chad Bratsky is the guy that just clobbers everything and doesn't allow anybody to get outside. Barry Sims couldn't get outside because of what Bratsky had done.
Big play here. 3rd and 4. Gannon to Tim Brown, first down. How many times has Tim Brown caught a big pass on 3rd and 4 to keep the drive alive?
Well, you spread the field out. You count on the corners going one-on-one. There he is on Macklin. Macklin takes a hard inside position, and Tim Brown just really makes the easy move outside. This is pitch and catch for Rich Gannon. These two guys have been doing it over the last 2 or 3 years and doing it so well. They call him the captain, and that's why.
For the All-Pro, 7 catches, 144 yards. Look at the average, over 20 yards a catch. Gannon back to work. He wants it all for Brown. And great coverage by Burris. Well, Burris has been spectacular tonight.
Boy, he has. You know, we talked to Jeff the other day, and he was talking about the crossing patterns that Joe went through about this Raider offense and all these guys going back and forth. And Jeff Burris reads this perfectly. But he said the last time we played them, they had so many crossing patterns, so many guys were coming back and forth, in and out of crossing. He said, I swear to God that Gruden was in one of the pass plays. He was coming across the middle.
Well, he's certainly done an outstanding job tonight.
Numbers on Burris, 2nd and 10. Gannon, short set, throws to Jerry Rice. First down at the Colts, 49. Bashir made the tackle, the 3rd catch of the night for the greatest receiver that ever lived.
Jerry Rice, in his last 4 or 5 years in San Francisco, was relegated to routes like this. Didn't run many deep routes and didn't have many yards after the catch. He said coming to Oakland, he's hoping for that opportunity to be able to break plays again. And I think he will. You have to give credit to this Colts defense. They're just not letting these guys get any yards.
Right now, they're both on the sideline, and the toss goes to Jordan. Jordan powers his way to the 45. Gain of 4.
You know, another thing, when talking to Burris, he was talking about this Raider football team. He said, now, when Rice and Brown are not in the game, and they have other guys in it, they still run the same patterns. They're different guys. Now, they don't run them as well.
Yeah.
You know, trust me. He said, but the patterns really don't change, so they can run all the stuff with Rice and Brown with all the other guys that they have.
Now, if you take those two guys out with a couple of hundred Pro Bowls between them, you think they're going to run the ball on that play?
Yeah.
I do. Gannon with time and completes this one over the middle. That's his tight end, Roland Williams, the first catch he's made tonight.
Roland Williams was the 3rd guy that they acquired. Actually, they got 4 in the offseason. Trace Armstrong, who blew out an Achilles. Roland Williams they got from the St. Louis Rams because the Rams were basically going to phase out the tight end. They also picked up Rice, and they picked up Garner. They replaced Risen, Kaufman, and Ricky Dudley at the tight end position and felt like they upgraded their offense.
I think they did at all those positions. Impressive drive for the Raiders. Garner back in there. Nice hole up the middle. Charlie Garner to the 25. Peyton Manning just watching as he sees the clock ticking down toward 5.5 minutes. A Raider touchdown would give them a 9-point lead, and Peyton would need 2 scores with time running out.
But the important thing about this offense, when it's efficient like this is, the receivers don't drop the ball, the clock keeps running. They run the ball, the clock keeps running.
And even a field goal, Mike, would need them 2 scores.
Garner. Monday night at 9, Stephen Davis and the Redskins will go to Dallas to face Emmitt Smith and the Cowboys on ABC's Monday Night Football. And on Thursday night, we'll be back with Rob Johnson and the Bills going to Jacksonville to take on Mark Brunell and the Jaguars. Our coverage starts at 8:28. Randy Jordan is on the field for the Raiders. Third down. Gannon to Rice, first down at the 18-yard line. They make it look so easy.
When you look at the Raiders on offense, the way that John Gruden calls plays, he just counts on guys catching the football. They're 5, 6-yard routes, 4 or 5 routes. Jerry Rice has to turn around, make Thomas Smith make the tackle, and it's really a possession style of offense. You normally attribute that to a running game.
And he can count on it because he's got Richie Gannon, who is amazingly accurate at quarterback. Jordan. Seeing 3 different running backs tonight inside the 15. Let's go to Susie Kaufman.
Well, we talked about earlier Rich Gannon having so many different options. John Gruden addressed just having Rice on your team. And you talk about Jerry being available, having something to prove. Why not give him a chance? He said it's the vibe you need to experience. He certainly adds that different level of leadership out there on the field.
I think what Gruden told Susie going in at the halftime about, we got to make the big play. I think 3rd and 3, when you have a guy like Rice and Brown catch it, that's a big play.
I think the other thing he told her was it's a heck of a game.
12th play of the drive coming. Garner on the toss. Student body right. Garner to the 11. Look at the time tick off this clock. The Colts defense really has to hold to a field goal here to make it a 23-18 game so a touchdown could still win it.
And the Colts only have 1 timeout remaining in this game, and 2-minute warning, but it looks like the Raiders may take it down to that.
This drive has already eaten 6:15 off the clock. Just what the Raiders needed. Peyton Manning can't hurt you if he doesn't have the football. 3rd and 4. Blitz on Gannon. Under pressure, he's stopped at the 19. Josh Williams and Marcus Washington.
Josh Williams has played a heck of a football game for the Colts up front. Watch number 96. Hand fighting. Here comes the pressure, forcing him outside. Good job by that defensive line.
Corey was the first one who got there and forced Gannon to go back inside. And now Janikowski, who is 2 for 3, will try from 37. And the Colts have used a timeout. That is their last. But with 2:27 to go, timeouts probably will not be a factor right now.
No, I don't agree with that, Mike. I think the mistake...
Tell me why.
Because you've got the 2-minute warning and then you'd have the timeout coming. I think it would be a problem for him.
Marcus Pollard waiting his turn. Janikowski going for his 3rd field goal of the night. And the Raiders have taken a lead that puts it out of field goal range after a drive that went 61 yards and 8 up. 6 minutes and 49 seconds on the clock. So it's a 5-point ball game. And Joe, we were talking about how much time is left. I have to look at 2:22 and think of Peyton Manning and his offense and say, hey, that's plenty. No timeouts or not.
Well, he'll have the 2-minute warning, but if they'd have kept it, he still would have had the 1 timeout left inside of 2 minutes. It's not like you had to call a timeout defensively because you got a matchup you didn't like and they were going to try and run an offensive play to pick up the first down. I still, from a quarterback's perspective, would like to have the 1 timeout plus the 2-minute warning if it was going to happen. Because now you have to be conscious of where you put the ball on the field. And remember, they need a touchdown. If it was just a field goal, I might say, okay, you could work down to about the 30-yard line. But you got to take it all the way.
Now, they would have run that thing down to 2 minutes.
Right.
And then kicked the ball in probably about Well, it was 27, so 5 seconds would have gone. They would have gone down to 1:55.
But you'd have gotten the ball back with about a minute and 45 seconds to go with one timeout.
See, if you just let me finish many times, I'm going to agree with you here.
Sorry,
I really want to agree with you on this one, but I'm not going to now.
Dominic Rhodes.
I sort of do.
I really do agree. I'm being double teamed up here. Janikowski leads the NFL in touchdowns. Coombs one. And Rhodes, no time will go off the clock. And Rhodes will take a knee, and they'll start from the 20. Sports Center comes up when we're done here. It's been a beauty so far, and we still have 2:17 to go from Indianapolis.
Now, that's the point I was going to make. There's going to be a kickoff, and now you're down to 2:17. So you really didn't gain that much by taking the timeout. That's why I said I wanted to agree with you.
I agree with you.
You know, he's really starting to lose. When you get closer to Christmas, you get nuts. You get closer to Christmas.
It's all on Peyton Manning and the offense now.
Boy, is it ever.
They have no hope if they give up the ball because they have no timeouts. Edgerrin James on a draw to the 25.
Peyton Manning's got him.
This down to the 2-minute
Well,
warning.
Peyton Manning's got him hustling. He wants to get another play off before the 2-minute warning.
And he just did and throws it away. Now that I didn't understand at all. We'll be back in a moment. Appreciate it. We'll look forward to you.
John Gruden, the offensive wizard, rooting for his defense. Go defense.
Manning Wilkins dives forward to the 35.
See, I just don't think if you're the Raiders, you just can't give up a lot of room and let Manning get a chance to get close. I think you've got to play it a little bit tighter and don't let these guys catch and run.
Manning dumps this one to Edgerrin James. He dives to the 42, 128 and counting.
From Peyton Manning's perspective, he's got to get a ball to the sideline. Even if it's a 4 or 5 yard gain, he's got to get this clock stopped.
This one's underneath. Harrison hit. He had the first down up at the 46. Now they can kill the clock if they choose. Approaching a minute. Manning doesn't want him down.
Now you got motion on the outside. Marvin Harrison.
That one's picked. Right into the hands of Torrey James. There's a marker down that looked like movement by the Colts. And if it is, they'll decline it and get the ball back.
Marvin Harrison was beyond the line of scrimmage. He tried to get back. He was moving.
Illegal shift
There's
against
an illegal
the offense. Number 88. A penalty is declined. First down.
And that'll do it. Now, that ball was being thrown to Marcus Pollard again. Trying to work outside. And Torrey James comes up with the play.
Watch Marvin Harrison on this play. He goes out to line up, and he lines up. He's not really paying attention because they're hurrying this thing up. And Marvin Harrison is beyond the line of scrimmage. And as he look at this now, he says he's coming back. The ball is snapped, so he's moving.
And watch to the left of your screen. Pollard tries to work outside. Manning throws the ball. Where he's expecting Pollard to get outside as quick as he can. This one's just a bad throw by Peyton Manning.
Oh, yes, it was.
They might have had misreads before. That was just not a good throw.
The second pick tonight for Peyton Manning, his 9th of the year. That one ended up between Pollard and Harrison. And congratulations all around on the Raiders sideline. They will go to 4-1. The Colts will fall to 2-2. And you've got to be impressed by the Raiders coming in here and doing what they did.
I'll tell you what else I was impressed with. Not just the Raiders. I was impressed with the Colts defense.
Me too.
They played very, very solid. The offense just didn't get a chance to get the big plays that are a staple of what they do. Jerry Rice just making big plays down in the stretch. Tim Brown, the same thing.
But this is big time for the Raiders. This is the first contender they have beaten this year. They had beaten Kansas City, Seattle, and Dallas. They lost to Miami, the only contender they played. They lost that one by 3, but not tonight. The final score, Oakland 23, Indianapolis 18. For our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.